There comes the sunrise, and there goes Kathleen, probably. I'm imagining. I wasn't here when they went out, and my camera is lying a little skewed, but I think we're in the right position. But there they go on her paddleboard, and I think that, just my guessing, has to be another couple from Colorado. She's from Colorado, and they're here visiting as pilgrims in the Holy Land. And that's a pretty nice thing to do, to go out there in the morning with Kathleen and to, gosh, I can't get my phone straightened here, people. I'm going to try a little trick here. Let's see. I hope it doesn't juggle it too much. No, I don't get it. It's not completely horizontal. We're going to have to live with that today. But there goes Kathleen and that family, I presume. And there go cars on the road. And there go the saints go marching in. And today we have a great feast day, which is honoring all those who have chosen the kingdom of heaven above the kingdoms of the earth. And they have let their lives be totally formed by the scriptures through the centuries. And when people see you moving, wouldn't that be a nice thing to say? There goes that family, there goes that lady, there goes that fellow. There go the saints go marching in. They know where they're going. They're making some severe choices, but they're doing that because they know where they're going. Some people make severe choices, getting up early in the morning. Well, they have to go to work. Some other people can stay in bed a little longer. Some people make severe choices with diet because of sports or because of some health reasons. So they make strong choices because they have a purpose. They're going somewhere. Some people make strong choices in expenditures so they can save money for a Holy Land pilgrimage. Maybe some people save for years. It's the trip of a lifetime. And they're so happy to do that because they're coming here to the Holy Land. Imagine making the sacrifices for the trip of a lifetime to go in with the saints, go marching in. Just getting these silhouettes here. So did you hear that cry in the background? Is that a deer? sweeping all around. With the sun reflecting on that mirror of the Chapel of Mary Magdalene. Actually, the meaning of Halloween is the evening, Halloween, evening, hallowed evening, Halloween, the evening of all the hallowed, of all the saints. Oh, I'm sorry, Minerva. I just see your note about your father-in-law having passed away. So by God's grace, we pray that he will be marching in with all the saints. They want to get that camera right, that picture right. But we want to march in right by God's grace and mercy. And this celebration started with the memory of martyrs. And there was a time in the church when some people had the sentiment after persecutions were formally over in the Roman Empire that they were a little bit discouraged that they couldn't become martyrs. It's a very interesting commentary from St. Augustine that there are very different types of forms of sanctity. The person who's going through regular suffering, through illness, united with God, accepting God's providence in their lives. Parents who are raising a child that has a lot of limitations, the growth and patience in their lives, how they become heroes of patience as the people who survive accidents that are very severe and cope with life and have a great gentleness of heart. We might go through moments of rebellion and difficulty in that process. John saw another angel come up from the east holding the seal of the living God. I heard the number of those who had been marked with the seal, 144,000. And that comes from the 12 tribes. 12 12s, 144,000 multitude. 144 multitudes. After this, I had a vision of a great multitude. It's way beyond the 144,000. From every tribe. The 144,000 were from the tribes, and a great multitude which no one could count. That sounds a little bit like Abraham, doesn't it? You will not be able to count your descendants. They'll be like the grains of the sand of the shore. You will not be able to count them. A great multitude which nobody could count. From every nation, race, people, and tongue. They stood before the throne and before the Lamb, wearing white robes. Yesterday I had the beautiful privilege of assisting a person in renewal of baptism here at the Sea of Galilee, dressed in white robe. That's where we get the white robes in baptism. That's why a little girl is dressed in white at First Holy Communion, dressed in white with that grace of baptismal grace adorning her soul at the day of her marriage, dressed in white. Dressed in white, the priest puts on an alb, dressed in white in the baptismal garb. And then the challenge is to live according to that, not to let it be soiled. And to ask for God's mercy should that happen. And then our coffin is draped in white before our burial, before the funeral mess, to symbolize that we were clothed in white at our baptism, come before the Lord. And precisely because of these verses here, wearing white robes and holding palm branches in their hands. We have to go back to our palm trees here. There you have your palm branches. Crying out in a loud voice, salvation comes from the one who is on the throne and from the Lamb. This is addressed to Christians in time of persecution, time of martyrs. One of the elders spoke up and said to me, "Who are these wearing white robes and where do they come from?" I said to him, "My Lord, you are the one who knows." He says, "These are the ones who have survived the time of great distress. They have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb." And this was particularly applied as well to the martyrs in a very special way. And we go to Psalm 24. Lord, this is the people that longs to see your face. That's where we're going. Where are you going? I'm longing to see the face of the Lord. I'm heading to see the face of the Lord. This is where I'm going with my life. You meet people at an airport, people you know, and say, "Where are you going?" "Oh, I'm going there, I'm going there." Where are you going in life? Any time you meet anybody, you can say, "Where are you going?" This is the people that longs to see your face. And we have the Beatitudes, and right now we're standing here in front of Mount of Beatitudes, just across the water there at the edge of these. See where those covers are over the banana plantations? And that grove there is a little chapel where we remember the Sermon on the Mount, and how many thousands of pilgrims are going through there each day right now, reading the text of the Beatitudes, making it theirs. Which of the Beatitudes is your Beatitude? Which is the one where your happiness is coming from? Your personal happiness is welling up, you see? And where is it welling up from? Is it from this one here? Blessed are the poor in spirit. Is that a source of happiness for you? Blessed are they who mourn. And the happiness doesn't come from the mourning, it comes from the trust in God who will console. They will be comforted. Blessed are the meek. Some people are meek, and they suffer because of meekness, because people take advantage of them. But they know that their happiness is not going to come from violence and imposing their will. And there can be meekness even without arms in a battlefield of military engagement. There can be a meekness in the kitchen, in the classroom, with friends, in disputes about politics. These days we have elections in many countries, and many times passions go wild. Here, actually, elections today in Israel. Let's say a prayer for all people who are voting. 2 days ago it was in Brazil. And no wonder if there's 173 countries, and most countries have an election every 4 or 5 or 6 years. And shortly there'll be elections in the US. To be very committed and engaged in the political process is a great duty also of believers, particularly because of solidarity, of looking for understanding, discerning what's the best thing to do to benefit especially the people most in need, to benefit the structures most in need of help, the family, to benefit life, justice, to correct wrongs, injustice. And it's always a big challenge for us because circumstances often are changing, challenges are very great, and to find the right way to protect the uniqueness of each little person, each small person, each weak person, to advance their development, of people who have been deprived of justice for a long time, to improve education, healthcare, human rights issues, responsibility in the international field. Some countries might shirk it. To come to the need of places struck by famine, by political turmoil. Blessed are the meek. The meek have a great way of helping, a great kindness to them. Are you blessed because of meekness, or are you a more choleric person that's very angry and immediately prompted to react strongly, annoyed? Oops, sorry, I went down too low there, people. We'll get you back in a second. Come on, camera. Sorry about this, people. I'm not sure why it's not going back for me. Okay, hold on. I went down too low there, and I lost the balance of the phone. What's your source of blessedness? Blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness. That's what we were talking about there, you know. That things will be properly ordered, that life will be properly discerned and lived. Those who thirst for righteousness. So maybe there is a lack of righteousness, a lack of justice. Oh, there's a great one coming here that's good for everybody. Blessed are those who are merciful, for they will receive mercy. Is that a source of your happiness? Like your normal day-to-day happiness? And I think we'd be very surprised if we found somebody that had it in all of the Beatitudes. We could all have a little bit in the Beatitudes, but I bet you there's a Beatitude that's one of the ones where you're really blessed by grace to live and blossom and bear fruit in a particular Beatitude. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Sometimes we can have people that are hard on us, and if we're merciful with them, that will stand to us in the long term. When we're unmerciful, we are sad afterwards and guilty and not blessed. Blessed are the clean of heart. And that's a good challenge in our time today, with so much confusion and so much pornography, so much confusion about sexuality, trivialized, disconnected from personhood, from true personal love. Blessed are the pure of heart. Is that a place where you're blessed? I think I went over time, did I? Blessed are the peacemakers. That's something we all can do, because we're all confronted at different times with issues of relationships with people. To be a peacemaker and to find your joy in being a peacemaker. Many people dedicate themselves to peacemaking in many places. Let's leave it like that for now. Your reward will be great in heaven. That's the big promise. That's why we're celebrating the saints. People, God bless you. See you later, alligators. Here in this beautiful morning. Actually, we'll just look up the day, up to that glory of the saints.